Hi, my name is Tiara, and for my first ever Project for Awesome video, I would like to tell you about the Center for Sex and Culture. It is a community hub based in downtown San Francisco in the US, and they have tons and tons and tons of resources to do with sexuality and sexual health and gender, open to the community for any age range. They have a massive library which has all sorts of books and zines and art and original resources around sexuality and culture. They host all kinds of events from screenings to play parties to educational events to community fundraisers. They also provide resources for other sex educators and gender activists and academics who are interested in the intersections of sexuality, gender, and culture. Like even they're working with Scholar Team, for example, on providing sex ed to teenagers. And the people who run it, they are the nicest people ever. Like, the people who founded the Center for Sex and Culture are Carol Queen and Robert Lawrence, who do a lot of education and activism and artwork around sexuality and culture. And in fact, a kind of the reason we even have a sex-positive movement to begin with. But even though they are literal icons, they are so down to earth and they are so helpful. And I want to tell you a personal story about them that has made me such a passionate advocate for San Francisco culture. So, I first came to San Francisco for a summer in 2011. I was living in Australia at the time, and I came here for a summer to do also creative sex types work. And I was interning with the center. And 2 weeks in was Pride, so it was all these huge events everywhere. And one of them was Dyke March. And so I went to Dolores Park where Dyke March was going to start. I was having a fun time, met a bunch of people. I was there alone, but I met all these cool people. And I got really hungry at one point. So I'm looking around for food, and this chick is selling baked goods to help fundraise for her album. And I didn't catch on to the fact that she said she was selling special banana bread. And then I should share it with a friend. It was this tiny little slice. I was thinking, it's a small slice. I'm hungry. So I ate the whole thing. And so I'm walking down Street San Francisco in Dyke March, and I'm having an absolute meltdown. Like, I don't know what country I'm in. I feel like I'm walking the same street twice. I don't know what's going on. I eventually have a huge panic attack, a huge meltdown. I get sent to emergency. And I'm there in emergency in this city I've never been in before. I'm somehow lucid enough to get on my phone and post a call for help online. And in the meantime, doctors do some tests on me and they find marijuana in my system. And they try to shame me into thinking I was too shy to admit I took marijuana. Like, if I knew it was pot in this freaking banana bread, I would tell you. And then we could work something out. But, eventually they let me out. And then 2 people from Tumblr, who I've never met before, but who saw my call for help reblog, rescued me. And took me home, which was awesome. But then I'm left alone at home at this place I was staying at, because everyone else has gone out to party. And I am having horrible nightmares. I can't sleep. I am freaking out. And so I'm looking through my email to see if there's any phone number I could reach in the city. And I find Carol's, because she was sending an email to all the interns. And I said, hey, Carol, you barely know me. I'm your new intern who came in from Australia. I just had a really bad pot meltdown. I am alone. Can you help? And I was not expecting anything, right? But then she and Robert showed up at the place I was staying very soon after, picked me up and let me stay at their house for 2 days while I tried to recover. And the next day, while everyone is out at Pride, she and Robert took me over to an estate sale because they were looking for stuff for the center. And they let me hang out with them for 2 or 3 days, and they're really nice, and ever since then, they've been my fairy godparents, essentially. Like, they've just introduced me to all these people, and the day I left SF, after my summer, they took me out to lunch, and they were really, really so supportive, and then they were just so happy that I was there, and they really enjoyed all the work that I did. And their generosity and their spirit is what inspired me to eventually come back to the Bay Area for longer, and which is where I'm making this video right now in my apartment in Oakland. And it's just because they were so generous, and they have been not just to me but to other people too. Like, there was one point where I couldn't go home because I was having a really horrible fight, and they let me stay in the center overnight. This tiny little room at the back of the center. When a friend in our community was having a suicidal meltdown and went missing, she helped mobilize a group in the Bay Area to try, and eventually they did find her and rescue her. And they were just so open, and they'll, if you have any questions, they'll come talk to you. They're just so passionate about the work that they do. They're passionate about getting everyone the right resources they need to advance their sexuality or health or gender or whatever they need. And you don't find people like that a lot. Like, I've met other icons who get caught up in their personality cult, and these people really deserve the term. They work so hard, and they run this out of the goodness of their hearts. They get very little money for it because it's hard to get grants if you have the word sex in your name, apparently. So if you can, donate to them on their website, sexandculture.org. Vote for them on Project for Awesome. Volunteer for them. Sign up for their mailing list. They need volunteers all the time, and show up at their stuff because there's so much going on. And really, if you're in the Bay Area, check them out. They are awesome. So this is my plug for the Center for Sex and Culture. Sexandculture.org. Check them out. They're the best. If you do see them, tell them Tara sent you. Mwah. Bye.